Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Friday, July 31st, the very last day of July in 2026. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Anyway, here we are in Franklin, Massachusetts. It's almost 10 o'clock, and we're going to start some fun stamping today. I will wait till the clock ticks to the 10, and we will begin. Big announcement. Luckily, my daughter has been helping get me out of Verizon.net. So please note that my new email is BarbaraLashSU at gmail.com. I'm a Gmail person now. So please make note of that. Please change that in your contacts. I would appreciate it. Please don't use Verizon. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And if you are with me, please do pop on. Actually, I don't know if I want these glasses. For some reason, they're not doing what they're supposed to. Let's see if these are any better. Oh, yeah, these are better. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Let us get started. I hope you got my newsletter, and here are the cards that that I sent to you this week. I hope you like them, and I'm going to show you how to make them. I really like this framed violet set a lot, and I don't know who the person was who made a card like this, and I said, I really have to do this because the other one we did with this stamp, but then I wanted to use this stamp. Hey, Beth, good morning, good morning. I can always count on Canada to rise to the occasion and support me in more ways than one. Bless you. Thank you, Beth. Thank you for popping on. Okay, so, and then this one was the Christmas card that I absolutely went bonkers. Was this Pam Brown? I can't remember now. I did write it down, but I don't have those notes in front of me. Anyway, let's get started. So I think what I'm going to do, hi, Julie. Thank you for popping on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so let's get started with this one. As I said, the Framed Violets is just such a beautiful set. It really is a lovely stamp set. And I love both the larger image of the violets and the bunch of them together. They're beautiful. We did a card with that a number of weeks ago. How do I get your newsletter? Beth, send me an email and I will tell you, and I will get you added to my MailChimp thing. You can also get it from my blog, which is practically dead. I haven't done my blog in a long time, but on the blog you can join up that way too. But just text me later on and I'll get you all set up, Beth. Thank you. Anyway, here's the framed violets, and then of course it has all the dies that go with it. So this one, let me just move this out of the way. And let me bring everything over here that we need. I just love it. I love the colors because I'm a purple greenish kind of person. So anyway, the base, of course, is the usual white. And let me just get my bone folder here. And you're not getting my newsletter, Beth. That's interesting, huh? Anyway, we'll set you up. No worries. All right, so here is the base. And then I need to put the paper on. And if you noticed on the sample, I used two different kinds. I used a piece of the Precious Pine, and then I used a piece of the Gorgeous Grape. So let me bring those in here. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Whoops, hold on. Hold, please. What happened here? All right, so here is, oh, you know what? This is the craziest thing. Hold on, I've got to get a piece of Precious Pine. You know what? For this one, we'll just, oh, but that is really weird. What did I do with it? Hold on, hold please. I'll get it. Hold. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get a piece. Let me cut this off. Yep. For heaven's sakes, I didn't even realize that happened. I don't know where it is. You know what's going to happen. I'm going to find it on the floor somewhere. My studio is quite a mess today because I've got a big class tomorrow. We're doing I shouldn't even say this to my Canadian friends, the Winnie the Pooh class. And oh my gosh, I'm so sad that my Canadian friends cannot get that, but they can't. All right, so here is this. This has to be trimmed out just a little bit more. This just has to be trimmed out. I don't know what I did with that piece of paper. I had everything here. But anyway, as I was saying, my studio is a mess because I've got 8 people. Well, actually, not all 8 are coming. I've got a few long distance packages. But the other ones, wait a minute, this is still not right. Let me trim this out one more time. I'm sorry about this. This is a little bit of a delay. I'm not usually a person that does delays because I tend to think that I'm pretty good with, there we go. Okay, there's that. Now this just has to be trimmed out a little bit more. Usually I'm pretty good. Well, today I'm not because it's a mess time. It's a real mess, but it's organized and it'll be lovely tomorrow. I'll show you the cards next week. They're so stinking cute. I think they're cute. And they get to some of them making brag books as well. So anyway, here we go. This is better. This is much better. So I want this, I did make this 5 and, let's see, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So this is the top layer, the green, the precious pine, which is a beautiful, beautiful color. It certainly reminds me of the forest, the pine forest here in Massachusetts, which I absolutely love. And I remember as a kid too. Do you remember getting pine pitch all over your hands? Oh my gosh. And it was so sticky, but it was kind of fun to play with. And then, of course, getting it off was another thing. Oh my gosh, it took forever. And I don't even know. I think my grandmother made lye soap. She used to make her own soap in the basement. And I think we had to use a lot of lye soap to get that off because it was really tacky. All right, so anyway, here we go. This is what we need. Here we go, just like this. Now, the next thing I did was I took some of this beautiful 2026, 2028 in color gingham cardstock. Look at how pretty that is. So there's the smaller version and the larger version. I'm going to use the smaller version here. So let me just add this to the bottom. And I love all of the in colors. And these papers are just beautiful. They could be used for so many different things. So this is going to go on the bottom. I'm going to make sure that I get it east, west, and north, south. Perfect, perfect. There's that. Then here is the piece of the designer paper that is the, it's called, what's this one called? Violet Dreams DSP. It's absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful. The colors are so stunning. It's just beautiful. So this is going to go on like this. How easy is that? And of course, this is still current, which is nice. All right, so this is going to go on here. And I want to make sure that I have enough. Oh, you know what? Let me put my glasses back on. All right, let me put this on. There we go. I want to make sure I have enough of the perimeter showing like that. Perfect. And I'm not so particular about the fact that this has got a little bit of space here because I'm going to take a piece of the Gorgeous Grape cardstock and I'm going to lay it on top like that. It looks like ribbon. It's not. It's cardstock. And I love using cardstock to make it look like ribbon. It's kind of a nice little addition. So let's get this on. And this is going to go to the edges of the Gorgeous Grape. Except this one is a little bit long. So let me bring in my little snippies. Let me cut this, just snip this out a little tiny bit. There we go. Perfect. That was perfect. And I'm actually using the guide on the green, on the gingham as my line to make sure that I get it straight, which is right like that. Perfect. Okay, so that goes on there. So then the next thing would be the flowers. Now, while I was waiting to go live, I did take my stamp set. I stamped the flower in Gorgeous Grape, and then I took my Wink of Stella. Now, this Wink of Stella is just about used up. So what I did was, the magic, I took this apart. I took the chamber apart. Let me pull this out. I took this apart, and then I took a little surgical clamp. You could use probably any kind of little tiny tool to get this chamber out. You just pull this whole thing out, and then you add a little bit of alcohol. You can use a medicine dropper to put it in. You could pour it in. Actually, I did pour it in, if you could see what happened here. I poured it, and I got it all over my label. But anyway, now I know it's Gorgeous Grape. And then I just shook it up really, really well, and then I used it to color in my flowers. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the leaves. I'm going to use the Precious Pine. So here is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. And here is another Wink of Stella. And I make sure that I label them so that I know which are which. So again, there is some alcohol and Wink of Stella in a little bit left. And I'm just going to bring that down onto my little, oops, you can't see that. Let me pull this in here so you can see it. Into the cover of my Precious Pine. And I'm just going to color my leaves. Oh, this one came out really dark. So I'm going to actually, can you see that? But look at how you get a lot of life with these Wink of Stellas. They have a lot of life left in them. So I'm just going to add, there we go. I want to lighten it up a little bit. But isn't that pretty? And you get the shimmer of the Wink of Stella with the color that you're using. These are very similar to the shimmery brushes that we have. But it's also a way of preserving your Wink of Stella brush and getting more use out of it. So there's that. I'm good with this. Now let's come over here and do this one. And then we're going to cut them out. Me. I'm going to cut. You're going to watch. I wish you were here in my studio. I really miss having people here. I mean, there's just obviously no way, because that's the beauty of a dream, that everybody would be sitting in my studio as I'm crafting. But I do have that. I'll have it tomorrow with my peeps. All right, so one more. There we go. How pretty is this? And can you see the shimmer? I don't know if you can actually see it on camera, but it's very subtle, but it looks very, very nice. I think it looks really nice. There we go. And also, you know, since I've got the shimmer here with the ink, I don't have to go back with my Winky and do it again. All right, now I'm just going to carefully do the stems. Perfect. Oops, I missed a little piece right there. Okay, done. Done. So that's a little tip. It is a great tip, Beth. Thank you. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to get my little mini cutter here, and I'm just going to trim these out so I can get them cut with my die. And then we're going to do some assembly. All right, there's that. Now let me get this. Take this out. And, ooh, a little piece of paper here. Let me get my die. I have a cute little magnetic board. My friend Elaine made this for me 100 years ago. It's just so sweet. It's a magnetic board that stands on an easel, and it's very convenient to have it right on my desk right here so that I can just put my dies on it and I don't lose my dies. Luckily, I haven't lost any, knock on wood. All right, so let's crank this one through. There's one. And let's get the next one. Oh, I just love that Wink of Stella trick. I don't know. I saw it on Facebook, I think, or Pinterest. I forget. Or maybe YouTube. One of those three resources. I saw it and I said, what a genius idea. And since I've been using it, I'm dedicating my Wink of Stellas to each color. So as I have a need for a specific color, I just take out one of my old Wink of Stellas and use it. All right, so there's number 2, and one more. Here's number 3. There we go. I love my little Stampin' Cut machine. It's so cute, and it travels very well. I love all our tools. One say, I'd love to come over and craft with you. That would be amazing. I know. Maybe one of these days, Beth, you and your mom will shock me, and it would be so awesome. Oh my God, I'd love it. I'd love it if you could come to Maine with us in December. That would be awesome too, because that's an exciting, fun trip. All right, we're all done with this. I can always dream. A girl can always dream. All right, I'm going to put my little magnet back on, my die back on my magnet. Now I'm going to bring my card back in, and I've got these 3 flowers that I'm going to place. Now the first one, what I think I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to put this on with some adhesive. I'm going to have this one flat, like this. That looks good like that. Okay, now these next 2, you know what? I think maybe this one's going to go on flat too. Yep, why not? Let's do that. A little bit of adhesive on the back. Well, let's bring this in like this. Just have a little bit of an overlap like this. But this third one, I am going to use dimensionals, full-size dimensionals. And I'm going to put a bunch on here to get this. Ooh, A cloud just came over. Did you see that shift in light? That was funny. Okay, so let's put 4. That looks good to me, like this. Gosh, I love these colors. Oh, I absolutely love these colors. So this is going to go on. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to trim out the stem on this one just a little bit. Get this out. I don't really need it. Oh, I got it back on the dimensional. There we go. Let's get that off. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in just like this. Yep, there we go. That's making me very happy. Like that. Perfect. There. Okay, now the next thing is I have 3 of these little leaves that I already previously cut out. Look at how pretty these are. They're veined. I love the fact that they're veined. I like the way that looks. And then I've got some of the little flowers in fresh freesia cut out as well. So what I think I'm going to do, on the first one, I did the large leaf, but I'm wondering if I should just put this down like this with these 2 like this. And put one in the middle like that. Oh, I think that's pretty. And let me cut out this, poke out that little center. All right, so with this, I'm going to put some adhesive on this. Yes, Beth, I really, really hope that would happen. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh my gosh. All right, we can dream. All right, I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to angle this one right opposite, like that. There we go. And then I'm going to take this little flower and I'm going to add this in, this little fresh freesia. And again, these were, oops, this is the one, I popped out the center. Let's get the center of this one out. These were I already cut these out like that. There we go. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add some pearls. Except I'm going to add pearls to, let me get my pearls out here. All right, I am going to add pearls to the center of these. I had a silicone explosion on my pick tool. I don't know how it happened. All of a sudden, I took the cap off, and all of a sudden it was like toothpaste coming out, like someone squoze it too tightly. Anyway, so there's that one. I'm going to put that there. Then I'm going to put another one here. Actually, I've got to get rid of some of this. It's just way too much silicone. But I think adding a little tiny pearl to the center of these violets just gives it a nice little addition. All right, wait a minute. Here we go. One more here. And then for this one down here, instead, well, before I do that, what I am going to do is I'm going to take a Wink of Stella and I'm just going to color it in, use my Wink of Stella to give these flowers just a little bit of pizzazz. And I try to go in one direction because I like to preserve the bristles on the brush. There goes the cloud again. I just got a big gray cloud coming in front of the sun, which significantly lowered my light in here. Okay, that's good. Now, look at these gems. Aren't these beautiful? These are called the adhesive back blooms. Look at how pretty. So we have them in the palest of pink. Wait a minute, let me get this off. I thought I had this already open. I did. All right. So look at these. Look at how pretty these are. This is the pale. There's probably a touch of pink in here. Here's a little one with fresh freesia, and here's one with gorgeous grape in the lighter version. I think what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to put this pink one in. So let me get this, and I'm going to use my pick end here. And I'm just, oh yeah, this is pretty. Isn't that pretty, pretty, pretty? There we go. That's that. So there you have this first card. Now on the inside of the card, I already stamped the violet like that. And it's just a beautiful, simple card for a note card. And of course, here is the envelope, which I did the same thing on. So isn't that pretty? I just love it. I think it's so beautiful. I don't know if you can see the shimmer on that, but in my hand and in real life, it's lovely. You could add a little sentiment if you want, but I'm not going to have this as a sentiment card. I'm just going to keep it blank like that. So there's that one. Okay. So now let's talk about the Christmas card. Look at this. Isn't this just beautiful? And for those of you who like to do Avant colors during the holidays, this is a perfect example of how you can incorporate the holiday season with poinsettias, but also use a different color. So this was done with soft sea foam. Now, I think I want to say her name was Pam Brown. I can't even remember if that's correct or not, and I should have pulled that up this morning, but I didn't. I didn't because my daughter was here and we were having so much fun. Anyway, this is Soft Sea Foam. She did not use the shimmery striped paper, DSP, which I did do because I thought that just added so much. I don't know if you can actually see that, the brightness here. Let me pull that up a little bit. See if you can, I'm using my light because this paper is, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh boy. Oh boy. That was an accident. Oh my gosh, you should see the mess. Whoops. Sorry about that. Okay, well, nothing broke. All right. But look at how pretty that is. Can you see that shine? Anyway, this stripe is beautiful. So today I decided to do a different color, and I have chosen Balmy Blue because my friend Ellen and Cindy, actually Ellen was the one who wanted a blue version of this. I showed her the samples last week and she said, ooh, I like the blue. So here it is. So this is this, and I'm using Balmy Blue. And then onto the Balmy Blue, I'm going to take the piece of shimmery white. Shimmery DSP like that. It is stunning. This stuff is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And you know the other thing that I really like about it, when I saw it in the package, I thought, oh, this paper is going to be thick. It's not. It's just like regular basic cardstock, which is nice. But look at how pretty this is going to look on here. And I'm telling you, sometimes simple is more. I have a friend who says that all the time, simple is more, and it's true. So there's that. All right, so then what I did, and of course I have to show you, this is the, this is called Pretty Poinsettias. I love this stamp set, it's beautiful. This is the flower, and then of course there are all the dies that go with it. Now I've already gone ahead and cut out the 3 flowers that you need for the poinsettia, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do here. I'm going to take this, I'm going to take my blending brush and my Balmy Blue ink, and I just want to add a tiny bit, a little bit of ink to this, just a little bit to give it a little bit of pizzazz. So let me just see here, and I'm just going to add just little bits. I'm going to brush it just a little tiny bit. Can you see that? Just a little bit, not a lot. I'm just giving it a little powder bath like that. Just on the tips of the flowers like that. Just a little bit. Just to add some interest to it. I don't know if we have, I don't think we have blue poinsettias, but you never know. Maybe some hybrid will pop up at some point in time. But anyway, for a Christmas card or a holiday card, I think it's lovely. All right, there we go. That's perfect for me. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take my Tombow and I am going to attach these together. Now there's the larger one, and then here is the next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Tombow in the center of this, and then I'm going to put this on, and I think I'm going to put it just like that. Perfect. Now, I don't care if it oozes out a little bit. That's fine. It's fine. Not a problem. It's just going to help this third layer get stuck. And I think I'm just going to add just a tiny smidge right here. There we go. I'm all done with that. And I'm going to bring this in and put this on like this. Like that. There. Tap, 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 tap. All right, now I'm just going to move this to the side because now I'm going to bring in the leaf die. Well, actually, the leaf that I cut out. Let me put this up. It's sticking to my paper there. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I think I've got enough Balmy Blue on here left. Let's just see. Let me just see. I just want to add a little bit of color here, not a lot, but I want it to look just a little bit different. And sometimes I use the side of my brush too, because as you know, osmosis, well, it's not osmosis because it's not wet, but just because there is a little bit of ink on the sides there, that looks perfect to me. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this because I'm going to use this in 2 different spots. So I'm going to cut this right here, and then I'm going to cut this off here. And then I'm going to cut this off because I don't need this here. Wait a minute, there we go. I'm going to cut this off too. All right, let me get that out of the way. Now, I'm going to bring back my card base. Here is my card base. And I am going to put my I'm just going to practice here. I'm going to put that on like that, and I'm going to put this on like this. And then I'm going to bring this in gently and see if I'm going to like where that's going. Oh my gosh, I think it's so pretty. Ooh, I think I'll move this up a little bit. I think that looks pretty nice. What do you think? All right, so let me take this off very carefully. Whoa! And I will add some, I know I'm playing with fire here by putting it on like that. I should have been using my silicone pad. Oh well, let me get my little tweezers. Where are my tweezers? I thought I had them out right. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to just lift this up, and then I'm going to bring this over like this. I think this is perfect. And I'll just tap that down. And then let's get some, all right, let me put the adhesive on the appropriate way to do it. Not that there's a right and a wrong way. There are lots of ways to do what we do. Okay, now I'm going to bring this one in, and I'm going to bring this one down just like this. There we go. There we go, perfect. And now I'm going to take my beautiful poinsettia. There we go. That was a little crooked. I didn't want that crooked. And I'm going to add lots of glue to this. Not lots, but enough so that the whole thing is going to stick and stay where it needs to be. All right, let's pick this up again. Now, I'm going to put this like right here. Oh. Oh. And I'm going to just tap it down. You know, this would be a stunning topper. Beautiful. I thought, wouldn't have not thought to, Julie, I totally agree. And you know, I think this was on Pinterest. I'm not exactly sure, but I totally agree with you. I didn't think I'd like the blue. I didn't think I'd like the green, but boy, I do like it a lot. All right, so there's that. Isn't that pretty? Now, I am going to add a pearl to this, and I'm going to use one of the larger ones, not a Gigunda one, but one of the, I'll probably use, let's see, probably this one. Yeah. There we go. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take my Winky, and I'm just going to wink up these leaves like this, just a little bit. What I want to do is I want to have some contrast and more interest, and I'm going to do the leaves too, because you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to take some iridescent ice and give this a little sprinkling of snow. All right, there we go, like that. And here is my iridescent ice. Or this is actually Dazzling Diamonds. It's snowing. There we go. Ta-da! Now, in real life, this looks pretty amazing, I think. Now, in order to finish this, I'm going to have the simplicity of this stamp that says Merry Christmas. And actually, I took this from an old set. This is from, I think it's from, it's from the Rocking Horse. Do you remember this Rocking Horse? Isn't that adorable? I love this set, but I love this Merry Christmas too. So I decided to use that. And here is my Memento ink. Here is my stamp. Let me get this stamped. And another thing too is I didn't think that I would like the black. However, I do like the black because I think it just it pops, it makes the whole thing pop. So there is that. And then the message on the inside says, wishing you a season of hope and light. And so I'm going to take the inside piece, which is right here. Now, of course, if I was doing this, I would use my Stampin' Positioner if we did a bunch of these like that. So there is that. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to add this little flower, which is the poinsettia itself. And I'm going to stamp that right here like such. There's that. And then I'm going to take the envelope and I'm going to do the same thing to the outside of the envelope like this. And then, now this is a silly thing. On my newsletter, I forgot to stamp the poor little soft sea foam inside, the little, I forget what those are called on a poinsettia. But anyway, that was stamped with crushed curry. So saffron. So I just take my So Saffron ink, and here is the little tiny inside. So I'm going to stamp that, and then I'm going to bring it back to the inside of the card, and there's that. So that's done. Now I simply need to attach it. And then we have one more thing to do, and we are done. So I'm going to turn this over because there is a little side of, a little piece of that Tombow that's still wet, and I certainly don't want to get any wet adhesive where it shouldn't be. All right, so this is going to come inside here. I think this is just an absolutely elegant card. And, you know, I don't take credit for it because I didn't design it, but I'm a good copier. So there is the inside. And now let me get my little message. And my message I am going to put on with the Tombow because I'm not sure how the stickability is when you're just doing a piece of cardstock on this beautiful paper. So this is going to work just fine. I'm going to put this on here. And the nice thing about this is you can use the lines to line it up like that. And I think that looks pretty good. Let me bring that, yep. Tap, tap, tap. No ooze, we don't like ooze. But if there was a tad of ooze, not to worry, because I would take a baby wipe and immediately remove it. All right, so now the one last thing we have to do is add 2 pearls to the sides of the Merry Christmas. And then this card is done. And in this situation, I'm going to use a little bit larger one right there. And then one of these, like right here. There. What do you think? Isn't that pretty? It's just so pretty. And in real life, it's even prettier. It's just so beautiful. I love it. And I can imagine this done in so many different colors. So there we have it. So these are the cards that we're going to be doing next Monday and Tuesday. So if you are interested in any of these cards, you just have to let me know, and I will get them prepped for you, and they'll be all ready when you get here. So the Christmas card and this. And your choice next week will be either the soft seafoam or the blue, which the balmy blue. Maybe you'd like some of each. Who knows? But anyway, that is it for today, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm so glad that you popped on and spent your Friday morning with me. I really appreciate it a lot. And Julie, it was so nice. And if all my peeps out there, if you don't know who Julie James is, you need to attach her. She's a little lemon press, and she's really, really talented and has great ideas. So I love to watch her as well. So that's what we do. We share a lot. Demonstrators love to share. So thank you very much. And don't forget my new address. I changed it. I'm no longer a Verizon customer. I am a Gmail customer. It is barbaralashsu@gmail.com. So please change that in your contact list. But thank you very much, my friends, for being with me on this Friday. I will see you next Friday. We will be in August. It'll be Christmas in August. Oh my gosh. Namaste, my friends. Bye.